flat out fabulous. Flat out fabulous from Mac. Purchased today. Go get yours and look fabulous. And this is why I'm not all rouge, allure, ink, and Kirsten Stewart is. But no, that lipstick, no. What up, people? It's Kate, and I'm back again. You know what? February is almost over. You know what? That means Valentine's Day month is almost over. You know what? We have to do something about love. All right, so, the other day I was just sitting here thinking, reading my favorite series, and then I realized that sometimes when you read a series, you're totally rooting for the main character to find a relationship, to have that somebody to support them from all the crap, whether it's supernatural or emotional, whatever. You want them to have a support base other than their friends, something a little bit more intimate, right? And then they get together. Then things go downhill. You're like, why the fuck did I ever wish for this to happen? So today's video, it's all about how main characters committing to serious relationships affects an urban fantasy series. Let's get started. Now, let me break it down for you, okay? And yes, I stole that from Lily Singh. You don't know who that is? Go check her out. Shut up. I think that the phenomenon of what happens to the following of an urban fantasy series can be explained in 6 simple steps. Don't believe me? Check this out. Number 1, initial reader happiness. This is where the reader is so darn happy that the character and their love interests have finally acted on their clear sexual tension and aren't going to be circling around each other like dogs anymore. Now, initial reader happiness. You've seen that character checking them out across from the room. You done seen that they be looking at them, and they be looking at them, and they be looking at each other. Every dang book, every dang scene, when they're in the same room together. In fact, you have been like, okay, author, we get it. They have the hots for each other, but when are they going to get together? Because at some point, sexual tension builds. It gets to be too much. People done gone act on it sometime. And then it happens. Yes! It's like we were all happy when Castle and Becky got together. We were all so darn happy when Mercy Thompson and Adam got together. Not me. But we were just happy that those characters who had a lot of shit going on and a lot of supernatural shit going on finally found somebody who clearly cared about them emotionally. And you know what? That sexual tension, it got resolved. We were happy. But then, number 2, the adjustment period. The reader then has to become accustomed to how the character behaves in a relationship. Now, you're happy that they're in the relationship. Then you realize that this relationship then changed the character. The character no longer is as badass as before. No, because suddenly they have support. Suddenly they're taking all their problems to their boyfriend's or girlfriend's front door. And then you're like, but wait. This is not how you were at the beginning of the series. And then, you think for a minute here, you know what? It's good. They have a support system. Mercy can now go to Adam when she's a little over in her head. And that girl gets in over her head a lot of the time. Okay? And Anita is there. Somebody has shown her that you don't have to be the biggest bitch in the room. Okay? You can be nice. Somebody can treat you like a girl, no matter how much you bitch and scream and kick about it when Jean-Claude doesn't do it. But somebody did show you that you have a feminine side. It's okay to have that side. And you know what? We like this change. We like it a little bit, It's a different side of the character. This character growth, we're perplexed. Then, number 3, the boredom commences. This is when seeing the main character and their love and or lovers together being cutesy starts to get a little boring. They start to miss the independent, gutsy character the MC used to be. Okay, we seen y'all be in a relationship. We seen them two be cute lovebirds being together. Now stop it. Just stop it. It ain't cute anymore. We don't know what y'all have been up to in the bedroom. We done seen that y'all support each other and love each other. But can we go back to that mystery plot line? What happened to the thrill here? Okay, because this is why I read this genre. I want the thrill. All of a sudden, it's just like there are these pages where you're like, can we get back to the action now? Because this emotional bullshit is starting to get boring. Just a little bit boring, huh? And then, you know what done happened? The resentment builds. When an author keeps slamming the schmoop on and the main character is no longer the main character they were at the beginning of the series, but instead they have fused with their love interests, such that you can't tell one begins and the other ends. This is when you get a new book from this author and you're thinking, thank you, Jesus, maybe the author has come to their senses and I'm finally gonna get that old vibe that I used to enjoy so damn much. Mercy ain't gonna solve nothing anymore. When she being chased by something real scary, she doesn't think, hey, no, I'm gonna stab this bitch up. No, she says, I'm gonna lead it to Adam's front door and he can deal with this shit because I sure hell see it. It's like, you can't have mercy without Adam. It's like, wait, when did you come, like, I don't know, Merson? Adsy. We're gonna call them Adsy. Okay, they become Adsy, you know, like Brangelina. You get this fusion, and there are fewer and fewer pages where the main character and their love interest aren't together in each and every freaking scene. And you're like, can this guy die already? Can Adam die so that she can go back to being resourceful and crafty like she was? Because one of the things y'all loved about Mercy is that she was the character who mightn't have been the baddest bitch in the room, but she was the smartest bitch in the room, and she knew when to say, hey, yo, this shit crack. But I have a solution. I know a guy. But that doesn't happen anymore. You know why? Because all she knows is Adam. Don't worry, Adam will solve it. Adam, do you know a guy? I don't know. Oh my God, Adam, something's after me. Protect me, please. And I'm like, yo, that ain't cute no more. In fact, I want Adam to die just so that you can go back to being normal. Then, number 5, boycott thoughts begin. The reader is so darn sick of the new version of the main character, they start to think about discontinuing the series. But there's that tiny kernel of hope that the main character will kick their lover to the curb and all will be right again in the land of series. You know, when you're like, okay, I didn't like that last book so much. Too much romance, not enough hard-hitting action, which is what attracted me to this series anymore, comes in. But you're like, wait, no, there was promise, you know? I mean, Narcissus in Chains, Obsidian Butterfly, that shit got real. Okay, introduce Olaf. Let's resolve that, because that's going to be fun. I'm just hoping. And then the next book comes out. And you're like, this fucking Sex Demon gonna have more partners. Like, what the fuck? I can't do this anymore. I can't read this series anymore because every time she gives me hope that it's gonna get better, it just doesn't. That resentment though, it done build. And those thoughts start niggling at the back of the reader's head. Thinking, okay, it's gonna happen. One day she's gonna piss me off with this lovey-dovey crap that I'm just gonna boycott the series. That's what's gonna happen if you keep slapping the love on. And then they reach stage 6. The fuck this shit stage, where the reader done lost their cool as the main character is no longer visible behind the ever-growing cloud of romantic bliss, and this shit ain't ever gonna get better. DNF that motherfucker! That's what happens with that book. And you know what? It's even worse because, like, up in this romance drama should be happening. Real shit be happening. But you know what? You don't remember it. Why? Because all you remember are all the pages where like romance bullshit was happening and you're like, when does it get to the beginning of the good stuff? Huh? I want the action. Where are the zombies? Where are the giant evil fae coming out to kill her? And where is the character who done deal with that shit like a boss? Because that's why we all read urban fantasy, because it all makes us feel like a boss. We all want to be the baddest bitch in the room. I don't care if you're a guy, you be a bad bitch too. You done lost me with this last book. I just can't. I can't anymore. I done tried keeping it up. I done kept the hope alive. But it's gone. And you killed me. Now that we have seen the sad cycle of love in urban fantasy series, let us then look at bad examples and good examples. Now, I am in love with the Anita Blake series. I done read every book. I read Crimson Death, even though I haven't done a review for that yet, and I really should get on top of that. But I did. But most people tell me that, you know what? After Narcissus in Chains or Obsidian Butterflies, I just couldn't keep up with that shit because this bitch spends more time fucking than killing things. And I'm like, yo, check it. I understand where you're coming from. You done went through that cycle and you thought, fuck this shit, it ain't getting better. That series is dead to me. But from a personal point of view, I am a psychology major. So to me, I love that emotional drama because to me that is interesting as fuck. Because my thing is, how done she go manage to deal with all them dudes who want her full attention, okay? And you know what? I think she's starting to get to a point where she's like, you know what? We're going to cull it down, and this is what we're going to go with, and everybody's just going to have to find somebody else to be with, and we all going to be happy. That to me is satisfying, but for some people, too late. All of that came way too damn late for them, and they don't like it. And of course, my other example is the Mercy Thompson series, where it was so good. The first 4 books, I think it was around 5 when I felt like it was really starting to drag, were so darn good because Mercy was such an interesting character because unlike Anita, she's trained herself to be a badass, Mercy is just a mechanic. She's never wanted to be anything else. She's happy, just fiddling around with the Volkswagens and, fixing cars. But for some reason, Homegirl got the hookup to every supernatural creature and she knows somebody who knows somebody. She's like the fucking Olivia Pope of fucking Tri-City areas, okay? She's that girl. Now, that's all fair and good, but when your friends have issues and they drag you into their issues, that's a problem for her because then suddenly she is just little mechanic who's way in over her head. But you know what? She's smart. She uses her smarts to get out of it. But then when her and Adam finally gave in to their lust for each other, it's like she lost her mojo. She's like no longer outsmarting the bad guys. She's Adaming the bad guys. He's like the fucking Band-Aid solution to every freaking problem that she has. Some guy is stalking me. Adam will lend me a few wolves. Some fae is stalking me. I'm gonna take him to Adam and his pack can deal with it. It's like, dude, what about you? Ain't you gonna cultivate some of your own awesomeness again? And then I was like, if I hear about this Adam one more time, and don't get me wrong, I like Adam. I love his storyline and that the fact that he's actually a D4C and he has a kid. He's very different than the love interest you generally see in urban fantasy. He's got this nice backstory. But dude, I don't want to see your ugly face again. But you know what? Don't worry. There's some good examples of what love can do to a relationship that doesn't lead you to DNF the damn series. The Mary Gentry series. I think the difference with the Mary Gentry series is that the whole series is based on the fact that the only way Mary could get back to Fairy is by basically being the whore of Babylon and bringing the babies back. And the only way she could do that is by sleeping with some dudes. So their relationship started with a sexual component and then builds that romance component rather than the romance component and then resolving it with sex. Now, that was a smart twist because once Laura Ilkay did that, suddenly we are seeing the characters grow in a way that's interesting. We get attached to these characters and then shit happens like, yo, spoiler alert if you done read like the latest book, but you killed Sholto. I didn't even like that dude. I didn't like Sholto, not because he had all that big nest of tentacles up in his stomach or anything, but of the guys, I felt like he was one of the ones that Mary was the least attached to because, well, he had his own shit going on within the sloth and everything was a hot mess there. But I was sad when she killed Sholto. Like, I know she done told us that, you know, one of the main characters was gonna die. And I thought, like, fuck, if you kill Frost one more time, or if it's darkness this time, I'm gonna boycott the series just because of that. But no, it was Sholto. And I was like, fuck, Sholto's dead? Like, who gonna come with his night flyer slob people? Who gonna be all tentacle man? Like, why did you do that? And you know what that showed me is that even though the relationship started with sex, Sholto became important enough to the series that I missed him. It's kind of like when they killed Dana in the L Word, for all of y'all who actually watched that. It was that moment of like, shit, life is hard. And that was like fantastic. That was brilliant. The other series that I really enjoyed where love or romance didn't kill the series was the Jazz Park series written by Jennifer Rarden. And Jazz and Val get together, but you know what? They're still badass CIA assassin ninja people being cray-cray up in there. And I just love their dynamic because they worked together too. There was that support and like he really understood what she was going through. I mean, like they were in it together and that was like, dang, that was a crappy mission. And she's like, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Shit, we done seen some shit. Yeah, dang. And that, in and of itself, is bloody fantastic. And last series that I thought did it right was the Riley Jensen series. I haven't read this series in a really, really long time, but I remember at some point that Riley was dating Quinn. And like, I was so in love with this dude that he was my Facebook boyfriend, okay? He was that awesome. And he had his own hot mess going on, and she had her own hot mess going on, and they came together and said, this shit been a mess, but you know what? We ain't, and that's cool. And they were just together, and it was a beautiful thing. And I was like, these people in a relationship, but they have separate lives. They haven't disappeared into each other. They haven't done the fusion thing that most couples end up doing. And that was good. It gave them distance and there was something interesting. Every time they interacted, there was something new. They could tell each other about something new and different. So they're kind of different ways that an author can go about introducing romance into a series, but not have it kill the series or detract from the main character's badassedness. Yes, I said badassedness. It's a word. Before you go, tell me if you've read any of these series. And of course, you know, if you done read them, let me know if you DNF because you just reached stage 6 in the cycle. And if you reach stage 6, what point did you just say, okay, enough of this series. I'm too tired of this now and I'm not gonna go back to it. Maybe I'll revisit this when I'm old and I have more time. All right, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you guys next month. All right.